I think it's important here maybe to talk a little bit about, you know, liberal versus conservative and how you decide to become sort of active in the movement, if you will, and all that type of stuff. I mean, I like to try to tell people that aren't involved in politics and maybe aren't that, you know, into it as you are and I am in the media and politics and that sort of nexus, that, you know, the easiest way, in my personal opinion, to describe the liberal versus conservative thing is that, you know, liberals in you know, belief and status, if you will, you know, using some of Mark Levin's language, they want sort of government types of control because, you know, they might have great intentions, you know, hey, we want to feed everybody, clothe everybody, whatever, but they believe in stronger government control, stronger government power, in my personal opinion. First of all this is my personal opinion, our personal opinion, not alleging fact, testing, aspersions, all for entertainment, parody purpose, only checks disclaimers. Versus conservative, which is more freedom, liberty, everyone can sort of do their own thing, and some people might say, well, that's cool because some people can't fend for themselves, and that's sort of a larger question. But what does liberal versus, what does liberalism mean to you? What does conservatism mean to you? Why are you conservative, and what got you active in the movement?
You know, I think of it really simply. I think of conservatism versus liberalism as conservatism is something that really lends to independence, and liberalism is something that lends to dependence. You know, people who promote big government policies and big government agendas really want to breed a dependence into the system whereby personal responsibility and self-sufficiency and all these values that we cherish so much as conservatives really get tossed to the side in the way of people becoming dependent on government and seeking their sense of success or not via government handouts, etc., or government mending problems that they can and should mend for themselves. So that's the way I see it simply. What got me involved in the movement was really that, you know, I had been teaching before this, and I've had a slew of interesting careers in marketing and teaching at the middle school, high school, and college levels, and a whole bunch of different stuff. But I was sitting during the time of the 2008 election and really looking at that election and how the media distorted so many things with respect to Sarah Palin, with respect to conservatism, and looking at all of the work I had done in terms of writings and postgraduate essays and all of that time I had invested, and just thinking, you know what, I think there's a cause that needs me now. And the cause for me was reaching out to our youth and really reminding them that conservatism is their ally, liberalism isn't. And conservatism is going to be in their corner in terms of securing their future, really seeing to it that their banks aren't robbed and their savings aren't robbed, and getting this debt and deficit under control, and allowing them to have a lot of freedom to think for themselves, to make decisions for themselves, to decide if they want health insurance or not, these very basic principles that really seem to have touched on almost every aspect of our lives, from our finances to our health to our well-being to our sense of controlling our own destinies. And that's a message that I think should be resonating with our youth, but doesn't because of the Obama Hope and Change train that came in and really ran on fancy campaign slogans and nonsense, when in reality they have bankrupted our youth.
See, I love this, and I want to run through a bunch of topics here quickly. You know, what I love about you is that you really say it like it is, and you have a lot of spirit, you know, and I love strong people, I love strong women. You get out there, you speak it to people, and you know, when you see you on TV, or you even you hear it on the radio, you feel this energy and this vibe, and that's what we try to bring here in conservative media. And so, you know, I was always a big fan, and I knew you were going to be a star, and so now it's like, you know, I think some people, and you know, might be afraid of that kind of sort of energy, that sort of power, if you will. And do you find that you feel that with some of the liberals there in Manhattan, as you talk about in this book, Outnumbered? And also, do you think that somehow relates to the reaction to Sarah Palin?
Yeah, I mean, I take plenty of heat from the left, and I also take plenty of heat from the business-as-usual Republicans.
Yes.
I get into plenty of debates, be it at Fox or in green rooms or walking around the city with people who are really comfortable with this I do for you, you do for me attitude going on in D.C. that I've really had about enough of. I consider myself a member of the Tea Party, of the grassroots conservative movement. I'm a Reagan conservative. I'm really unapologetic about that. So, yeah, you know, I take a lot of heat from both, and I'm willing to do that because I think that business as usual is what's really destroying the country, and I have no tolerance for that, whether it's on the left with their big government tax and spend nonsense agenda, or whether it's coming from the right and people who are really comfortable with the status quo not really changing all that much and being out there and talking big talk, but when it comes to cuts, they're arguing between 30 billion and 60 billion,
right,
which is completely ridiculous in light of the enormous debt and deficit that we have. So yeah, I take a lot of heat, and that's part of the job. That's a part that I've actually come to enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah, no doubt, exactly.